Hi guys, Office Bloke Dave here. I hope you're all doing great out there today. I was going to react to some sort of stuff following Ed Sheeran's lawsuit. It was Marvin Gaye's estate, wasn't it, against Ed Sheeran? But I kind of missed the boat and I didn't really record over the weekend. And yeah, it is what it is. But I was following it and I saw a few people's breakdowns of sort of the ins and outs of it. And I think it was Rick Beato, I don't know how you say his name. I watched a bit of one of his videos where he sort of, I think it was him, he compared the two songs. And there's similarities, but there's similarities in so many songs. I think it was the right outcome to the trial, that's for sure. It would have set a very dangerous precedent for music everywhere if he would have lost. And Ed Sheeran said he'd retire from music if he would have lost, which, although I don't particularly listen to Ed Sheeran, I think it'd be sad because he's a very talented guy. But yeah, he's been on the Howard Stern show showing off his guitar that he used to win his copyright lawsuit. So I'm interested to hear what he's got to say about this. Let's check it out. Before we do, make sure you like and subscribe. It does mean the world to me. Let's get into it. This is Ed Sheeran on Howard Stern showing off the guitar he won to win, the guitar he used to win the lawsuit.
I want to congratulate you on this court case. There is nothing worse in my book, as somebody who creates stuff, somebody accusing you of a ripoff. I read in the paper, you sat down with the jury, and I think this is great, and you took out your guitar, and you said to the jury, you think I ripped off this song? I'm going to play you something now and show you how similar things can be. What did you play for that jury? If I was the jury, what did you say to them?
So it was, so my one is, when your legs don't work like they used to before. And then there's, have I told you lately that I loved you? And then people get ready, there's a train coming. And then what was the, looks like we made it, look how far we've come, my baby. And she breaks just like a woman. I mean, there was 101 songs that, and that was like scratching the surface. There was like 101. You know, there's I guess you say it's really. And what I was saying is, like, yes, it's a chord sequence that you hear on successful songs, but if you say that a song in 1973 owns this, then what about all the songs that came before? We found songs like from like the 1700s that had similar melodic stuff, and then there was like huge songs in the 50s and huge songs in the 60s, and it's just, no one's saying that songs shouldn't be copyrighted, but you just can't copyright a chord sequence. You just can't. I'm really glad it's over, man. It was like 8 years of that. And
8 years?
Yeah, and this is...
Fuck, I didn't realise it was 8 years he was going through it for. That's rough. As a ginger that's been through the courts quite a lot, I sympathise with you, Ed. That's really shit. I'm not surprised he said he would have given up music, because what's he going to do? Release more songs and open himself up to more lawsuits at some point? It's stupid. This should have been thrown out a long time ago. I think the only people that get rich off this sort of stuff are lawyers. And it's also sad when people do it on behalf of someone who's dead that's written a song. You know, it's not even the person that feels slighted. It's their estate trying to squeeze as much money out of their beneficiary, whichever one it is, you know what I mean.
And
8 years.
Yeah, and this is my like livelihood, and this is the thing that I've worked my entire life to do, and have someone like disbelieve it and diminish it and just say that you've stolen it. I really felt like I had to take a stand and go to it. And either way you lose, because you spend God knows what to win the case, and then you don't get that back. And if you lose the case, you lose God knows. So either way you're sort of in a... And then there's also the stain on your reputation for the whole of your life. There's always a question mark of the headline of Ed Sheeran stole this or what. That doesn't go away. So you have to sort of take that risk of like, I'm going to go really public with this, take it to court, and hope for the best, basically.
But you missed your grandmother's funeral because of this court case. Could you have said to the judge, hey, by the way, can I have a day to go to my grandmother's funeral?
Well, it was in Ireland. That was the only thing. And the thing with it, like, I thought the case would end Monday or Tuesday, and the funeral was on Wednesday. And then on the Thursday or the Monday, I can't remember what, their side suddenly randomly called my manager to, like, it wasn't in the schedule, and they randomly called him and they questioned him for whatever it was. And that made it spill over. It's a shame. I won't get that time back. And she was a great woman.
Did you get a lot of phone calls from other musicians thanking you for standing up?
Well, yeah, it was sort of like in the process. You know, someone like Elton, John Bon Jovi sent me a really nice message. Taylor congratulated me when I won the case. You know, everyone was saying to me after I said if I lost, I'd quit songwriting, and they were like, "No, you wouldn't." And I really, honestly think I probably would have done, because it just takes the joy out of it. If you can't sit down and go, I can't use a C chord to a G chord because someone in the 60s used a C chord to a G chord, it just sucks the fun out of it.
Yeah, it was definitely the right decision. I think, like I say, it would have set a really dangerous precedent for the music industry. And not just that, I can see how it just sucked the fun out of it for him, because you're going to go and write more songs just for someone to go, hey, wait a minute, and then sue you again. It's ridiculous. And I think they should be ashamed, Marvin Gaye's estate. Whoever it was that did that lawsuit absolutely should just be ashamed of themselves and should be made to pay. You know, why does Ed Sheeran have to foot the bill for all of his legal costs when he was found not to have copied it? Because this is it's a tool used against YouTubers sometimes, like smaller YouTubers that can't afford to take things to court. People sometimes abuse the copyright claims sort of system on YouTube that have loads of money behind them, and they know that people, smaller creators, aren't going to fight it, because if it goes to court, you can't afford to pay tens of thousands for lawyers and stuff like that. So yeah, it's shitty when people do that. We're sort of living in a different age as well of copyright. I think you've got to respect people's copyright. I think obviously reaction channels and things like that sort of are on that sort of radar, because that's why some people get annoyed at people who pause it. I do it the same. When you pause it halfway through a song and stuff and comment. But if you don't do that, you are genuinely just ripping off people's copyright. You have to comment, add commentary, pause it, put it back, discuss things. That's literally the way it goes. But yeah, I think we live in a slightly different age when it comes to that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of dinosaurs in the music industry still, and the film industry. Not saying a lot of people. I've come across one or two in the 3 years of doing Office Blokes React who they just want to destroy people's livelihoods. It's okay to say, I don't want you to use my content, and then creators will take it down, or, you know, people won't do a cover version of a song or anything like that. That's okay. But when you try and ruin people's careers over it, it starts getting a bit shitty. Anyway, I've spilled over into my own experiences of this sort of stuff a little bit too much. But yeah, good on Ed Sheeran. I'm glad he won. And yeah, fair play to him. Keep going. From one ginge to another. Keep it up. Right, hope you enjoyed that as well, guys. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments section. Was it the right decision? Feel free to disagree as well. I'm up for reading anyone's comments. If you think he absolutely did rip off that song, let me know. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers, guys.